As the Chairman noted in his opening remarks, this is something that we have sought input on in a great way. We've consulted with officials from across this country in an effort to do what we can to support the integrity of our elections more efficiently, recognizing the long-term budget limits we're also facing. The EAC initially had a 3-year mandate, but as with most government programs, it found a way to maintain its existence. Unfortunately, it became a bloated bureaucracy that mismanaged taxpayer dollars and has been the subject of 2 discriminatory hiring lawsuits. Meanwhile, 2 of the EAC's 4 functions are essentially complete, and the others can be performed more efficiently without an entire agency supporting them. The best course we can take as the EAC's Committee of Jurisdiction is to dissolve the agency, end its wasteful spending, and transfer its remaining beneficial functions to another location. This manager's amendment terminates the EAC and transfers the EAC's Office of Voting System Testing and Certification to the Federal Election Commission. It also creates formal mechanisms for input into the development of the voluntary voting systems guidelines by adding a guidelines review board composed of state and local election officials and other important stakeholders. It maintains the existing Technical Guidelines Development Committee in its current form. These changes to the bill came after listening to officials and administrators throughout the country who are very familiar with the voting and elections process, and I'm very thankful and appreciative for their input. The manager's amendment includes other changes based on suggestions we received. It transfers the testing and certification functions to the Federal Election Commission rather than to NIST. And it calls for 2 studies to look at the best way to provide a national voting machine testing and certification system that will be effective and beneficial. Mr. Chairman, I'll close by saying that as we sit here today, the Treasury Department is in effect using accounting gimmicks to delay facing the fact that we cannot cut our spending addiction. To sustain an agency that has done its assigned studies, dispersed its assigned grants, and fulfilled its mandate is the definition of irresponsibility. We haven't rushed through this process. We've held hearings. We can go back to hearings that we held in the previous Congress. We've listened to numerous experts. We've kept and reassigned programs that provide true value for election administrators. And now is simply the time to end the EAC and save American taxpayers $14 million a year. It doesn't get any easier to find an example of wasteful spending. If we can't do this, we might as well pack up and go home, because this is as obvious and clear as it gets. Mr. Chairman, thank you for the time, and I yield.